Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In this video, we will discuss about the master-slave flip-flop, which is used to implement edge triggering, and it removes the problem of the race around condition. We will discuss both the positive edge and the negative edge circuits using the master-slave configuration. So let's get started. In the master-slave configuration, we actually have two level triggered flip-flops, for instance the JK flip-flop. One is the master and the other one is the slave. The internal architecture of both is the same that we have learned in the latches video, but the difference is that the master receives the main clock and the slave receives the inverted clock. So we have a NOT gate in between the master and the slave. Next, I will explain you how actually the master-slave configuration removes the multiple toggling problem of the race around condition, and it makes the flip-flop overall as an edge-triggered circuit. Let's move to the internal architecture of this master-slave flip-flop. It looks complex, but it is not very much if you just focus on it individually. This is the master section, which has the JK latch made through the NAND gates. And on the other side, we have the same structure for the slave, which is again having the latch implemented through the NAND gates. The main output is Q and Q bar for the circuit. The main inputs are J, K and the clock. If you notice, the master section is getting the clock as it is, but the slave section is getting the inverted clock after passing it through a NOT gate. Apart from this, we also have a special connection. From here, we have the yellow lines showing you the Q bar, which is given as an input to the first NAND gate of the master latch, and the Q, which is coming as an input to the second NAND gate of the master latch. Now let's see the working. To understand the working, we'll first draw the clock signal. Suppose this is the clock signal. We understand that in this case, the master is going to respond whenever the clock is high, and the slave will respond to the inverted clock. So when the original clock is 0, the slave is getting the inverted one. That is, when original is 0, the clock for the slave is equal to 1. Hence, we know that whenever the clock is high, the master is responding, and whenever the clock is low, the slave is responding because the slave is getting the inverted clock. And hence we have marked M, S, M, S just to denote that when the master is responding and when the slave is responding. Keeping in mind this thing, let's come to the structure again. Let us assume that right now the clock is high. So you just look at the blue entries. In this case, when the clock is high, originally the master is getting the original clock, that is, the clock input for the master is 1, but on the slave side, the clock input is 0. So if we focus on the slave side, because the clock input is 0, so the input to the gates 5 and 6 is 0 each, and hence their output gets fixed to 1, 1. The outputs being 1, 1 drives the NAND based latch into the condition wherein it holds the previous state. So let us assume that previously, just notice the blue entries. Previously your output is Q equal to 0 and Q bar equal to 1. And we are having the condition at the input as J is 1, K is 1 and the clock is right now high. So the master is responding. In this case, the clock for the slave is 0. The outputs of the gate 5 and 6 is 1, 1 each. And hence, at this side of the circuit, because this is a NAND gate based latch, the output is remaining in the previous state. So whenever the clock is equal to 1, the slave is actually not responding, and the major output remains in the previous state. So the output does not change. Coming to the master side, what is happening inside the internal architecture of the master? Because the clock is 1, input to J is 1 and input to K is also 1. Let's talk about the third input to each of these two gates, that is 1 and 2. For the first NAND gate, the third input, that is the yellow line, is actually Q bar, which we have assumed at 1. So the input to the first NAND gate is now all inputs are 1, so the output is 0. Coming to the second NAND gate, two inputs are clock equal to 1 and k equal to 1, and the third input is Q, which is actually equal to 0. So hence the output to the second NAND gate is 1. The output of the third NAND gate, because one of the input is 0, so the output will fix at 1. This 1 will be provided as an input to the fourth NAND gate, with the other input also is equal to 1. Hence the output for the fourth NAND gate is 0. So what you understand? After all this discussion, we understand that when j is equal to 1 and k is equal to 1, these are the primary inputs. The clock is equal to 1. The master is working. The master output is q equal to 1 and q bar equal to 0. But because the clock which was given to the slave is inverted, which leaves the slave in the stage of not responding or basically holding the previous state. So the major output does not change. The major output is still q equal to 0 and q bar equal to 1. So to get the effect at the main output, we want the slave to be active. And for the slave to be active, we need to wait for the clock to become 0. Now let's imagine the clock becomes 0. So now we are looking at the green entries. When the clock becomes 0, let's first see what happens at the master side. Because this clock is 0, now in this case, the output to the first NAND gate will now be fixed at 1, and the output to the second NAND gate will also be fixed at 1. Because of this configuration, the NAND based latch at this side, that is the third and the fourth gate, they will remain in the previous state. And what is the previous state? Q equal to 1 and Q bar equal to 0. So this will remain the same and there is no change at the master side. So now the master is not responding. But coming to the slave side, because your clock was equal to 0 and after inversion the clock becomes 1. So hence the slave is receiving the clock equal to 1. Because this clock is 1, the inputs to the fifth NAND gate are both 1 and 1. Hence the output is 0. For the sixth NAND gate, the inputs is 1 and 0. So the output is 1. So you get the input to the seventh NAND gate is 0 and the other input is, we don't need to know what is the other input. This is the one input which is 0. So obviously the output will be equal to Q equal to 1. And for the eighth one, this one will act as the second input, that is 1. And you know that one of the input is in the green side whenever the slave is active. So this is also 1 and hence your output is 0. So what happens? Now we are having the output Q equal to 1 and Q bar equal to 0. So what we understand is that in a very short way, when the clock was equal to 1, the master was responding, but the slave was not, and the output remained in the previous state. When the clock became equal to 0, the slave started to respond and the master was inactive, and the output toggled. Why did the output toggle? This is because we had kept the input j equal to 1 and k also equal to 1. Now in this case, you notice that your output toggles only once, no matter what is the width of the clock or what is the delay of your flip-flop. It does not matter, because when master is active, the slave is not active. So even if the master is responding n number of times, the slave will not be affected. But when the slave is active, the master is inactive. So the slave is only going to catch one condition for the master, and it is not going to change then, because at that time when the slave is active, the master is inactive, and hence you will get a constant output which is correct, and it will not be a multiple type of triggering. The interesting fact in this case is that what we notice, the original circuit responded whenever the slave got activated. And in this case, the slave got activated whenever the clock transitioned from high to low. High to low. So this is the negative edge. And hence, this circuit that you have just learned is actually a negative edge triggered JK flip-flop. So this is the edge triggering flip-flop, and this circuit is responding at the edge of the clock and not at the level of the clock, and that is the reason why it removes the race around condition. Now the question that might be coming to your mind is that if you want to implement a positive edge triggered circuit, then what to do? It is as simple as that. You just need to invert the clock now. The slave should be given the original clock and the inverted clock should be reaching the master. If you do in this way, then your circuit will entirely function in the opposite scenario, in which it will become a positive edge triggered circuit. If you just want to see quickly what will happen in that case, we can just go through this. Like, let's say originally the clock is equal to 0. In this case, my slave is inactive. So the input to the slave is clock equal to 0, which makes the output of the 5th and the 6th NAND gate to be 1, 1. Just look at the blue entries. The blue entries are actually for the clock equal to 0. So this is 1, 1, which keeps this NAND base latched in the previous state. Let us assume the previous state right now is Q equal to 1 and Q bar equal to 0. So it will remain in this state only. But when the clock is equal to 0, the master is actually receiving the inverted clock, that is clock equal to 1, and hence the master is active. The input clock is 1, and let's see the first NAND gate. The 3 inputs for this is J equal to 1, clock equal to 1, and the third input is actually the value of Q bar, which is 0 that we had just assumed. So we have Q 0 over here. The output of this first NAND gate will be 1. Coming to the second NAND gate, the inputs are clock equal to 1, K equal to 1, and the third input coming from Q, which we have assumed to be 1, and hence all the 3 inputs are 1, so the output is 0. Just look at the blue entries, not the green one. Greens one are for the second part of the clock. So this is 0. So the inputs are 1 and 0. For the fourth NAND gate, because one of the input is 0, so the output will be fixed at 1. This one will be present as an input to the third NAND gate, making it output to move to 0. So what you have is that when the clock is equal to 0, the master is responding. And it is getting some output, that is Q equal to 0 and Q bar equal to 1. But the slave is not responding, and your major or the primary output remains in the previous state. So overall the circuit is not responding. Next comes when the clock becomes equal to 1. When the clock becomes equal to 1, in this case, looking at the master side, master is now getting clock equal to 0, so it will not respond and remain in the previous state. Slave is getting the clock equal to 1. So looking at the fifth gate, the two inputs are, one is clock equal to 1 and the second input is the output of the third NAND gate, which is 0. So the output of the fifth NAND gate is 1 now. Coming to the sixth one, the inputs are clock equal to 1 and we have 1 from here, the output of the fourth NAND gate, and hence the output of sixth NAND gate is 0. Because the input to the 8th NAND gate is 0, the output will now be 1, and this 1 will be as an input to the 7th NAND gate. The second input is also 1 and hence the output is 0. So hey friends, toggling has happened. It has happened, and this is happening whenever the slave clock is equal to 1. So this time, if you notice the waveform, what happened is that we are getting the output, the primary output is triggering when the clock is going from low to high, because this is the time when the slave responded, and whenever the slave will respond, your primary output will change. So this circuit is actually a positive edge triggered JK flip-flop. So coming back to the circuit, This is a positive edge triggered JK flip flop. So, edge triggering is obtained with the help of the master slave configuration, and this configuration helps you to remove the race around condition also, because the circuit is responding at the edges of the clock and not at the level. So now no matter what the width of the clock is or what the propagation delay of your flip flop is, the output will toggle only once at the edge, either the positive or the negative. If you like the video, hit the like button below, share it with your friends, and be sure to subscribe. I will meet you in the next video.